My whole team mindset is very violent, and that's what we're looking for. The key victory to this fight is going to be being calm, having a violent mind, but approaching it with calmness. Mm. And my silence is golden. My silence is key to it all. That's why I haven't spoken to anyone, even at the press conference and stuff. There's nothing to say. There ain't nothing I have to say. I want to show you. Been speaking, especially when so many people have tried to go against you. So many people have seen certain proof, but they don't care. They just let you know how the world is. They don't care. And, I'm trying to say too much without saying too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, I don't want to give away too much, because I know when I speak, people pay attention. When I post things, people are paying attention, especially my opponent,
Those are the words of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder as he states the type of mindset that he's in and the strategy, or a piece of the strategy mental-wise on how he will approach the ring. He also mentioned and responded to the reason why he was so quiet. Like, he didn't say much of nothing. He said like maybe a 6-line poem, and then sat down and put his glasses on and his headphones on. And let me counterpunch that. I was one of the ones that was angry because he didn't say anything, and my take on it, at least Deontay shed some light on it. Okay, he shed some light on the fact on why he was so quiet. He would rather show people. Well, and if that's the case, he should have just said that. I'm not talking no more, so I'm going to show you. And that would have been somewhat gangster. But then here's the thing. It still doesn't add up. It doesn't add up on the way he stayed quiet like that, but had a lot to say before on Tyson Fury. And then a lot he said after. And it tells me one thing. You were a guy, like he said, when you speak, you listen. People listen. That's true. When Deontay Wilder now says anything, anything worth mentioning, anything at all, people will report on it. People will respond to it, right? And that's the whole reason why he should have said everything in the press conference, because that was his opportunity to get the man face to face. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. And that's worrying me, because we haven't heard him ever say that in the last, I don't know how long now, probably in over a year. I haven't seen him say, speak it, believe it, receive it. And that's his famous quote. You know what I mean? He mentioned what his famous quote was then, but speak it, believe it, receive it. It's something that I think he doesn't use anymore. And actually, I miss it, because it's like, it makes sense. You speak things out of existence because you believe it, and then you will receive it. Now, with him referring to the mindset, let's talk about that for a minute. Deontay Wilder's mindset, he said, well, hey, I'm violently calm. And to approach things calmly, that's why I didn't want to speak. So what that tells me is that Deontay Wilder didn't want to start talking because he might have got too angry. So I think that was a way to control himself before the fight, so he wouldn't get disqualified, so he wouldn't do nothing like do a Derek Chisora, throw a table over at Tyson Fury, or slap Tyson Fury, or put his eye like he did, boop, in Tyson Fury's eye, and things of that nature. That he didn't do those type of things, because if you notice, look at the press conferences before. He went off on Tyson Fury the second fight, and it really wasn't a lot of press conferences, right? That's the sad thing about it. But the first one you did, you had a long drawn out in England. You had one over here in America. And so you had a lot of press conferences, I think New York and LA, and these guys went at each other. You didn't have many people there, but you had press conferences. Okay, so a lot of media stuff was done. You had a sit down between the two. You don't have any of that these fights. I just think they're just getting cheap, Bob and, Al and all those, because they don't know what's really going to happen. Now, a lot of people could say, well, hey, maybe he just didn't want to do that. Like, maybe that's why I mentioned it, because he didn't want to get too angry and he can't control himself because of his anger. Very violent right now. But the question is, you can look at that and say, well, when haven't you been violent? You've always been violent. I want a body in the ring. I want to look a little boy in his eyes while I cripple his daddy. Come on, man. He's always been violent. So again, you know, you can look at that as like, okay, that's bullshit, because you had every opportunity to this man to tell this man, like you normally do, how you felt, what you did, why I gave you the opportunity, because he's quick to say that. I gave you that opportunity. I did that for you. Right? And he said nothing. And then maybe this was a new approach. Whatever it is, you know, I think Tyson Fury beating Deontay Wilder made him change up the way he does things. Okay? If you look at Muhammad Ali, right? Since everybody wants to compare Deontay Wilder to Muhammad Ali, which is bullshit, but Muhammad Ali you never see Muhammad Ali sit there and stay quiet. Especially a person that outspoken. Deontay Wilder was that person. He's that person in this generation, the black heavyweight in this generation, the black heavyweight champion or former champion now in this generation. He never stopped. Nobody could never shut him up. And if you ask me, Muhammad Ali is the direct example of speak it, believe it, receive it. Okay? Because you could not stop him from talking. You know, that's my thing. And look, it would be different if Deontay Wilder didn't say anything after that press conference. Like, I'm not even talking. But he had a lot to say to channels. He had a lot to say to his friend, you know, like Fred and Barbershop and those guys. He had a lot to say about, well, he even cheated. Like, well, why didn't you call him a cheater? At least that. Now, to be fair, Tyson Fury didn't say nothing either to open that door up. But you don't really have to open a door up if you think someone did something to you. You know, but you can look at that's give and take, because none of these jugglers said anything about each other regarding the cheating allegations. And I thought that was strange. You know, and I guess it's a lot of things that we don't know. But hopefully the calm and violent approach works. You know, hopefully he can come in there. He's definitely learning a lot. He's definitely looking better. He's definitely throwing punches to the body besides the jab to the body. So, you know, he's learning inside tactics that I think he needed anyway for any other fight. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder's response to why he stayed quiet and where his mindset is. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.